So when I actually think about describing somebody, what anyone sounds like, it's kind of a tough thing for me to put my finger on. It's almost easier for me to take myself completely out of the situation, because when you're close to something, you can't look at something subjectively. You know, it's hard to be objective when it's, you know, somebody that you're impressed by or somebody that you've studied a lot. But I think that part of the reason, the other reason why it was hard for me to answer this question is because John Green sounds like a friend to both his viewers and his readers, and that was part of the reason why it took me a second to be able to start analyzing him. But the first words that came to mind when I went through our adjective list were clear, sincere, or honest. I think that his writing style it's very easy to follow. He provides a lot of examples, he'll elaborate a lot, and these elaborations are typically to the point. They're not really off base or misguided. And when he does this, he'll use a lot of metaphors and similes, and his work is just kind of littered with comparisons, but he doesn't really use an excessive amount of adjectives either. He does use a lot of verbs, and this makes his writing very active. His writing, it seems like it's always moving, it's always in motion, and to me it almost seems like his writing is living. And to me, that makes the characters seem very real, and that because of the verb use, you know, they're almost alive. Along the same lines, the other words came to mind, but in a smaller aspect, and those were intuitive, rhythmic / lyrical, natural, and humorous. And all of these I found could be applied to both John Green, the historic author, and John Green, the implied author. I just think that as a young adult author, that's something that the genre needs, and I think that aside from the fact that this is specifically part of the young adult genre, it's something that he does well, and that's why I like it. His videos are also didactic, if I'm saying that right. They can be very educational as well as entertaining. For example, John's most recent video explained the national debt and the budget, which was really interesting to me. He put it in concepts that I could understand because, you know, I'm not terribly great with math. That's why I'm an English major. And it was nice to be able to understand it from that perspective. And John's brother Hank actually talked about this in a recent video as well, because he had just gone to a YouTube conference, and at this conference he talked about how YouTube can be used not just for entertainment purposes, but for educational purposes as well. And I think overall that's why I like John Green as a writer and as a blogger, because he's got this multifaceted style that appeals to several different venues. Does anybody have any questions?
Do you ever feel that because John Green is, he addresses like a younger crowd, do you think he ever tries to sound too hip? Like, do you ever think that it is dated because of some of the language that he uses? I just wonder.
I think for looking for Alaska, I think that that's more so the case. But then because I watch his videos and I see how he, you know, generally talks, you know, with pop culture references, and just because, and he like knows a lot of things and talks about, you know, all these different subjects that, you know, prove that he's knowledgeable. I think that that helps me, you know, kind of put a finger on what that sounds like, because I've thought about that too. But I think that there's other messages in his books that, you know, relate outside of that, especially, you know, as he progressed as a writer.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.